Edge inspires me to pursue greatness.
Edge is making relationships.
Edge is failing forward.
Edge is grit and perseverance.
Edge is giving energy.
Edge is about taking risks.
Edge is about becoming fearless.
Edge is about collaboration.
Edge is being stronger than your excuses.
Edge is about creativity.
And Edge is about owning your learning.
Hi, my name is Dan Symington. I am the director of the Legend Edge program. Today, I want you to take a moment and think back to your high school experience. What were your most memorable experiences? Now, as you think about that, was it the athletics you were involved in, activities? Was it the dance, the football games? Now I want you to think even deeper. What were your most memorable learning experiences? That's the question that we truly started with in the Legend Edge program. And our goal as a program was to think about 30 years from now, what are they going to say about what was most memorable to them in high school? And we want it to be about those learning experiences that we provide for them. So the question that we truly started with, if you could redesign the high school educational experience to have a bigger impact on kids and to truly inspire them to greatness, what would you do?
James Adams once said, "There are obviously two educations. One should teach us how to make a living and the other how to live." But he was wrong, because Edge has achieved both. Edge encourages me to take risks, to fail, and to learn from failure. It celebrates our differences, yet encourages collaboration. We learn because we are free to explore. We do because we are free to do. We are responsible because the responsibility is ours. Legend Edge has changed the way I learn. I engage, I create, I express myself, I challenge myself. I've developed skills today that have prepared me for my future. I don't work for a grade. I work for progress. I work for knowledge. I work to become empowered. Aristotle wrote, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." In Edge, my mind absorbs the knowledge, and my heart brings it to life. Edge has not only opened doors, but it has broken down walls. It's transformed the classroom into a boundless space for knowledge, passion, and growth. My experience in Edge has prepared me for a world that won't know what hit it when I burst through its doors.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. We're here to talk to you about the EDGE program. I'm Zoe. So first off, what is EDGE? EDGE stands for Explore, Discover, Grow, and Empower, each letter representing 1 year of your high school experience.
Hi guys, my name is Olivia McAvoy and I'm currently a senior in the EDGE program. The students in the EDGE program live by 4 principles, the first one being interdisciplinary. Now you may be wondering, what is interdisciplinary? Well, that means that we are combining multiple subjects together in order to create one final product. In EDGE, interdisciplinary looks like intensives. An intensive is a multiple week-long study where we combine our classes in order to make our learning more real. The classes that we combine are math, English, social studies, and science, as well as any other electives that our students choose to take. By combining these classes, we are also able to incorporate real-life scenarios and skills that students need to learn in order to be successful. That way we can grow as not only students, but as people in the real world. As you can see on the screen, we have some pictures of students working on an intensive called Metaphor Machines. In Metaphor Machines, we used humanities to research an evolutionary topic. We used English to write an abstract about the topic. We used math to create little gears to represent time periods within that topic. We used technology to print out the gears onto wood. And then we used our woodworking skills in order to make this project come to life. This is just one example of many ways that we use interdisciplinary learning within EDGE.
One of our freshman projects is called Gears of Conflict. This is an interdisciplinary model with science and humanities where students get the choice of choosing which conflict they would like to research and why. And in science, they design these gears that show the science behind the inner workings of each individual gear. These students have the choice throughout this project to come up with their own idea and direction they want to go. Our job as mentors is to provide these students with an understanding of how to do quality research and how to get these gears to function as one.
Hi, I'm Maya and I'm a sophomore in EDGE. The second principle that EDGE students use is project-based learning. Project-based learning is much more than just taking the test and memorizing facts. It's allowing students to do hands-on activities that they can use in their future. As you can see, some of these pictures above show the projects that EDGE students have done. In the top left corner is metaphor machines. For this project, students got to research an evolutionary history topic of their choice, and they got to create a machine about it. In the lower left corner was the soap intensive. For this project, students got to look into chemicals and research how they would market and learn how to market their soap company. In the top right-hand corner was the wings versus wheels intensive. For this project, students got to create a plane or a car and then learn the science behind motion. And lastly, in the bottom right corner was the Tools for Success unit. This is the first project that you will do coming into EDGE, and it will set the groundwork for your success.
Hi, I am Katie Manzanares, and I am the tech lead in the EDGE program. And I am standing in front of our lovely portrait wall that the students designed in our Tools for Success unit.
Hi, my name is Maddie and I'm a senior in the EDGE program. EDGE's third principle is personalized learning. This is where students have the opportunity to individualize their own education in order to best prepare them for their futures. Students can personalize their learning through projects. This is where they can choose the steps they take to get to a final product, they can choose the final product itself, or they can combine the two and personalize both the steps and the final product of the project. Next, we have internships. This is where students have the opportunity to set up job shadows and internships with professionals in the career paths of their choice. This gives students the opportunity to go out into the real world and actually experience what these professionals are doing in the career paths that interest them. The last way students can personalize their learning is through studies. For example, the class may be working under the same topic of conflict, but each student has the opportunity to choose what type of conflict they research or study about. This gives students the opportunity to research about a topic that truly benefits and interests them, which results in students loving their learning.
I'm going to take this opportunity to review with you a freshman level intensive that we recently designed. This intensive is called Land or Sea, and it is focused around the driving question: how can we conserve biodiversity, reduce climate change, and support local economies on land and in the sea? We reviewed our different content areas and identified different standards that students need to meet throughout their freshman year in both English, math, and technology. For this unit, students are enrolled in a career and tech ed course that is also a concurrent enrollment course, meaning that students are earning college credit for this class while they are in high school. So these students are focused on these guiding questions, which help them refocus and really focus their purpose for research on what they need to focus on. So the guiding questions are something, and the driving question are something that we come back to frequently in this unit. So we kicked off the unit with 3 different films, and these films were our entry event or our kickoff to this entire unit. And we watched a film by Patagonia and talking about native lands and public lands. We also watched the Chasing Coral on Netflix, and students participated in a master class by Dr. Jane Goodall. Students then went on to focus on gathering research on whatever topic that they grasped onto during the film viewing. So they decide where they want to go from there. What would they like to research a little bit further? So we helped to guide their research and scaffold their research because we noticed that freshmen need to really learn how to conduct good research. And so we wanted students to define environmental issues, create actions to help solve these issues, apply actions in their community to help solve the problem, and evaluate actions that are being conducted and share out the results. We provided students with different note catchers that they might want to use while they are conducting their research. Also in EDGE, it is very important for us to make connections with corporations and professionals in our community, as well as nationally or globally. So we have some expert talks. This individual was speaking about he is a children's book author, and he is in Australia. So students are invited to participate in him conversation with him talking about his process in creating a children's book. And we also like to connect students to different corporations so that they have a preview of different jobs and careers that they could have after high school. Some might require a college degree and some might not. So we want to expose students very early on to all of the opportunities and options that are available to them so that hopefully they have a more focused goal going into whatever they decide to pursue post-secondary. We also focused on giving students information about B corporations, certified B corporations, which are really putting purpose over profit. And they are involved in funding and giving back to a very defined purpose close to that corporation's heart. And we are encouraging students to reach out to these different corporations in order to discuss how they might be making a difference in the field in which their corporation is in. We also have students create deliverables. So right here we've given students personalized them with our pets. Sorry, you do not get our portraits there. But each teacher has specific deliverables that they are looking for, or products that they would like the students to create for this unit. For example, in English, they are writing a feature article that is where they put their research into in order to create this in Adobe InDesign. They are also learning how to write a professional letter, like we spoke about, making those corporate connections and looking at different careers that are available to them. They need to learn how to write a professional letter to those corporations. In math, they're looking at statistical models and creating infographics. So how do we visually represent data, as well as dabbling in a little bit of science and looking at a climate change lab. With me in technology, I am weaving the technology into the project by kind of front loading and teaching them how to create a feature article in InDesign and the anatomy of an article, as well as giving them choice on which deliverable they would like to create. Either a children's book, which is an interactive ebook, and they might be able to create an app or a documentary style film. So as we dive into those deliverables a little bit deeper, we are providing students not only with choice in what topic they would like to research, but we are also offering choice in whatever they would like to create to demonstrate their learning. So all of these creations are through the lens of informing the audience about the topic. So they might choose to create an app that informs their audience about the one of the 3 driving question themes, or they might create an interactive children's book, or they could start a docu-series, which might be a documentary style film or a podcast. We provide students with the due dates right up front. We let them know as mentors through checkpoints. We help to guide their product to be the best product that it can be, with skills woven into the product creation. So they have different checkpoints. In this case, in technology, their checkpoints are once a week. And I tell them specifically up front, kind of breaking the project down. What are you going to do? At the end of our units, we usually have something called a showcase or a festival of learning, or in our case, it's a celebration of learning. And we invite parents or different members from the community at a non-COVID time to come in and see what the students have created. You will also see that we have told students specifically what each deliverable will entail, and they can choose whatever they would like to create. So if they would like to create an app, which we are currently designing in using Wix, and we are designing it dual platform. So they are learning to not only design it as a website, but then switching from web to mobile, and how does that look? They could also create a children's ebook. We are using Adobe InDesign in order to create this ebook. I will show you some examples of what students have created in the past. This is a really cool, probably one of my favorite projects to see what students do. They have the option to illustrate the entire book and make it 100% original, or we use a combination of vector art and illustrations. The students have previously had a graphic design class first semester. That is the other concurrent enrollment or college course that they get as freshmen. And so they have a lot of front loading going into the ebook. And then they also start a docuseries. So we say start because we're trying as a program to create products that could last or stretch vertically across multiple years of high school. In this case, if they're really interested in something that they're learning about, they could create the first podcast or the first episode of a docuseries that outlines or talks about their problem. We've had conversations with students that oftentimes people that create documentaries or podcasts sometimes don't intend on creating another episode, but with time constraints and other constraints, we have to put a cap on the program. So we want them to focus on creating the first episode. Then hopefully their sophomore, junior, senior year in Edge, we can come back and dive even deeper into this. So we like to also kind of front load them with a lot of information. We've really noticed that freshmen need to hone in on those research skills and really learn how to develop good research skills. So part of our scaffolding process in the beginning is providing them with information that they could go and research. So we guide them through different Google voyages, or we look at different national parks at risk, and we look at sustainable development goals. And we might look at the Ocean Agency and their 50 Reefs initiative, which is tied to that Chasing Coral film that they viewed in the beginning. And we try to be very intentional with where we send students to get their information. We also have different expert interviews and are trying to work smarter and not harder. And if students are creating an interview, their peers have an opportunity to post questions that they would like to have that expert answer. Therefore, that student may place their expert recording into a resource bank so others may use it for alternative or B-roll audio or video as such for their deliverable. We also conducted a kind of a research overview with students and allowed them to place a good majority of topics that they are interested in onto a Padlet. This allows our mentors to look at what topics the students are interested in, which also helps us guide our research and helps us in deciding what deliverables would be good for the students to create. So we're looking at anything from Indigenous people, climate change, local economies, biodiversity, deep sea, conservation, racial inequality, coral reef ecosystems, and this is a really great way to kind of tap into our students and see what they're interested in, what are they looking at, what do they find as a valid resource, how can we better guide their research, and are they really hitting on those driving questions and themes that we would like for them.
The fourth principle in EDGE is memorable learning experiences. This gives students the opportunity to have memories from high school that will last a lifetime. As you can see in some of the pictures, students are given the opportunity to go and listen to a guest speaker talk about their career choice and why they went into the field that they did, along with different field experiences, such as Aviation Day, Day in Baseball, and the Stock Market Challenge.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost, I feel, I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal? I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Here in EDGE, we really focus on bringing all aspects of the student into focus when we are planning a unit. For example, we like to take student interests and passions and design projects around it, like our Veterans Day celebration that we had last year.
Can't come back at a quarter to 10.
interactive ebook activity. And I'm going to walk you through two different examples of interactive ebooks that students made. And a few years back, Edge had a foreign language component to the program. And so this student was enrolled in Chinese, and I believe is a native Chinese or fluent Chinese speaker. And so his book is called You Can't Do That, Lee. And when you look at his story, he fully illustrated this all by himself, and he also narrated this.
Good morning, Lee. It's time to eat. 早上好，李。吃饭的时间到了。早上好。
Notice how the student also decided to change the text color as you rolled over, which was an additional feature that they chose to go above and beyond. So we were learning about storytelling and also having a concept that would be a relatively easy concept at their ability level in their foreign language that they could illustrate and create a children's book around.
No good, Lee. You can't have cookies for breakfast. How about your mother's noodles instead? 不好，李，你不能用冰洋吃早饭，吃你的妈妈面条怎么样？
So the student did an amazing job, has amazing illustrations, great job. Text features are amazing. This is an incredible example. Moving on to my second favorite book. Actually, this might be my first favorite of all time. The student illustrated her entire story, and it's incredible. Brought some animation features. Animation, again, is kind of going above and beyond in this project. So this student, the requirements are that they are able to bring in illustrations either in vector form or in this case hand-drawn, and they are able to have interactive features such as rollovers in text and narration in their text. So that comes last.
However, on clear days, she would watch from above and observe the land below. She would adore the tall skyscrapers with Huffy. Don't you think it'll be fun to be down there too? Huffy, as usual, was being his quiet self, but Sarah didn't feel so alone with him in her arms.
So this student just really went above and beyond. The animation's incredible. It's almost like its own little animated movie. Her imagination and thoughtfulness going into this was absolutely incredible. I was completely blown away. She was very reluctant to let me share this with anybody. But it is done at such a high caliber of a level that, I mean, even looking at the dimension in her photos, it's incredible. So this is by far one of my very favorite projects to do with students. Thank you for joining us today. We would love to connect with you in the future. You can find us on our social media pages, either with Legend Edge or our own personal pages. Hope you have a great day.